Luke, this is such an intense short film. How did you come to work with David on it?
Yeah, so David and I, so been an actor my whole life. Sorry, when I was five. David and I met, I would say probably 3 to 4 years ago before the pandemic. I got attached as one of the leads to a pilot that he wrote. And we went around town and pitched it together. So they had me and the other lead, and then David the writer, and then Monet, who's spearheading the whole thing from the production company, then the director, and then the five of us teamed up and we went and we all pitched it together. So that's how I met David. We connected creatively, obviously, then, and you know, he's such an awesome guy and insanely hard worker, such a just talented artist. And so kind of just kept up that relationship and found other ways we could work together, and stumbled upon this short that he had written.
Was your vision then in line with what he saw for creating it and bringing it to life? Did you guys have to speak about how yours would match his vision?
You know, I think that the beautiful thing is that we are both at the core of ourselves collaborators, and we love the art of putting brains together to create something that not just one person could. And it was a very seamless transition from actor writer to director writer. He's just a master of his craft, and he allowed for me to speak into it, and we played with certain things and just developed it. You know, we found the ending at some point during that process. We, you know, messed with the location, and then what that twist might be with where the altercation comes in and what they're doing. And we just played and played and played until we found this really nuanced and layered story that we both really loved. So no, I mean, yeah, there was no like creative differences. It's always funny to me when there are creative differences, because, like, you know, you should both be in service of the greater good, right? And that was really the heart of both of us. It was just figuring out how we could impact an audience as best as possible. And so no, David he's incredible.
Ariel, what was it about the film that really drew you to want to be a part as a producer?
Well, I mean, this short has been something that has impacted me when I read it, when I've watched it. I've seen it over 100 times because as a producer, you know, I have to watch it after it gets sprayed into a DCP. I watch it when it gets when we send it to a festival. And just something that's been a through line for me is I've cried every time. I've felt emotion when I've read it, when I've seen it. And for me, that was something that was like, okay, I'm going to get to be a producer, which is awesome and exciting and something I've always really wanted to do. But I'm going to get to be a producer on something that I really, really believe in, and something that evokes so much emotion for me. And I just feel so grateful and honored to be a part of this project at all. And I think that was just something that I was excited to do, was to work on something that I felt was so powerful and so meaningful in this time. And so for me, there were just so many things about it and the way it made me feel that definitely made me want to be part of it.
What is it then that you've gotten as far as a response? I know you both are part of social media. What kind of response have you been seeing through festivals, though, and sharing this film with people you know?
The response has been amazing, really. I mean, we're just honored that people watch it in general, and that people, and the fact that people have been so moved by it, and that we've been accepted into about, I think, 14 festivals now. And now that, you know, we've applied to the Academy, it's just really, it's mind blowing. You know, we made the short with the intention that people would watch it and maybe it would make people think and make people feel something. And when we were starting to apply to festivals, it was something that we all said, we were like, wow, we'd be so grateful if we even gotten to one. And to have come this far with the short, it's just exceeded all of our hopes, our expectations, our dreams. And everybody's response has been so powerful. You know, we've made parents think about what they would do in this situation. We have made people think about maybe their stance on gun safety or just things in general. You know, we didn't want to take a stance with the project. We wanted it to live how it lived. And well, really, Luke will speak more on that because that was his vision and his goal, and he executed so beautifully. But everything that we wanted for it and the things that everyone wanted other people to feel, that's the response we've gotten. Everybody has felt those things, and we're just grateful to be able to make something and to make something that we're so proud of and that people have had such a response to.
Yeah, 100%. I think the ultimate goal is to evoke emotion and shake the foundation and bring people's walls down and you know, and spark this conversation. So that's thus far the reaction we've gotten is people want to talk about it and people are affected and so, you know, as a storyteller, that obviously makes me very, very happy because that was, you know, that was the heart of the project.
Luke, talk to us about filming that shooting scene. It must have been an intense or at least long day filming that. What advice and what sort of feeling was on set with these children when you were filming it?
Yeah, well, they're both pros. They came into it, you know, as pros would. So a lot of trust I put in them and felt very comfortable doing it just because of the sheer talent that these boys have. You know, being an actor myself too, there's been so many times through my life where I've come onto set and been distracted or rattled by something, you know. It's hard to know the very delicate art of acting without doing it, and it is a very delicate art. It is emotion, right? You're manipulating your own emotions and you're manipulating your own mindset. And so I came into, especially within the intense scenes, really wanting to make sure the set was a sanctified area. And so I wanted to make sure that the conversation and the work to be done around that happened outside set. We talked about it and then we went in and we did it. And if there was any kind of communication inside, keep it really soft, keep it really quiet, because I wanted these boys to feel like they had this sanctified area to where they could really get in the zone. And I just always knew that that's what I wanted in these emotional scenes. You know, anytime people would try to joke with me, it would throw me off, you know, like allow that space and allow that, you know, privacy really for vulnerability and emotion. So that's kind of what I brought into, but it was a long day, no doubt about it. The first day was all the desert sequence. And we got up at the crack of dawn, got out there, and, you know, working with minors, there's regulations on how long they could work. So we had to pack it in and really stay focused in order to you know, get all that we needed. And the boys stepped up, you know, they stepped up, they knocked it out. When we needed one take, they gave us one take and we moved on. You know, it was awesome. It really was a special day.
How involved were you when it came to the casting aspect, Luke?
Very involved. I, you know, was looking through IMDb and looking for kind of the top young talent. Who can we get? And finding, you know, these proven kids and all that kind of stuff. And I remembered one day about August Maturo. I'd worked with him probably 6-7 years ago on Girl Meets World Disney show. I did like a star on that. And I remember him and I was like, you know, he's probably about the age that we need. And I looked at his IMDb and he had branched out and started doing some heavy drama and he had some really incredible scenes and in films that he was just really bringing it. And, you know, I was like, you know what, let's do it. Like, I would love to work with August again. He's a great kid. Like, and so I wrote a letter to him and told him, you know, I see him in this role and I would love to to work with him, and we got lucky with him. He was down to do it, and he wanted to push himself, and he loves doing really emotional work. So I think that was enticing to him as well. And so we got August. That was great. And then my manager, who has been my agent up until like 2 years ago, since I was 5. So he's almost like a second father in the business, you know. He helped us produce. He's one of the executive producers on the short as well. And so I hit him up for the second lead, and Cameron Crivetti is at the same management company as I am. So that was an easy reach out, talk to the reps, and we got really lucky with Cameron. He is so wickedly talented. You know, I didn't even need to see his material, but they sent it, and, you know, he's going toe to toe, bawling his eyes out with Nicole Kidman. And then he's in The Boys playing this like darker, angry character. And he had so many layers. He was so natural. And we got wildly lucky with both of them, because they both knocked it out of the park.
For both of you, maybe Ariel, you could start. What do you hope viewers take away from this? Is it gun control safety? Is it parental supervision? Is it empathy? What do you hope from each of you? What do you hope viewers take away from watching this beautiful short?
I mean, I think we hope people take away whatever, you know, whatever it evokes from them. I mean, I think obviously, like I said, we didn't want to take a stance anyway on gun control. We wanted to take a stance on gun safety. So I think the hope on that front is that people will maybe take a different approach with guns around children, or with the information children have about guns. So I think that on the gun front is probably what we hope will be taken away from that. And I just think in general, of course, empathy. I think empathy for everyone. I think it's definitely hard for people to think about how far they would go to protect their own children, and if that will, you know, supersede the life of another. So I think there's a lot of things we want people to take away, and I think just in general, whatever they're able to take away from it, hopefully it brings out something in them, that there is something that they will think about once they finish watching the short. So I don't know if Luke, you want to add something else in there too?
Yeah. You know, the goal was to tell a real and honest story and depict these events, and not shy away from the severity of it, not shy away from, you know, the violence that can ensue from lackadaisical energy in this area. And, you know, I think that's what we did. And really the goal was not to pander views, and not to, you know, spoon feed the audience with opinions, but to depict a real and honest set of circumstances and allow for that emotion to lower people's walls and really spark conversation. You know, I think with the separation that everyone feels right now with technology and with pandemic and all that, I think that we have trouble communicating. And I think that the way back into doing that properly is for us to be emotionally charged and emotionally grounded in a very, very universal way. So that was the ultimate goal.